Number 3. Sophia Ulola. In late 2000, 20-year-old Sophia Ulola lived with her mother, her siblings, and her 4-year-old daughter in Stockton, California. Ulola and her mother, Tina Mendoza, worked together at a discount retail store. The family was looking forward to Christmas that year. On December 23, 2000, Ulola and her mother worked together at the store. Afterward, they went home together. Ulola decided to go out and do some more Christmas shopping. She had found a scooter for her daughter and she wanted to purchase it. Ulola arrived home around 12:30 a.m. on Christmas Eve. She went to a neighbor's home, then started to unload the toys from the car. Meanwhile, her mother, Tina Mendoza, was sleeping inside. At 12:45 a.m., Mendoza was awoken by the sound of screaming. She ran outside and found her daughter next to her car, bleeding from the side of her torso. Ulola pointed down the road and yelled at her mother, quote, "Go get him, I've been stabbed," unquote. Mendoza ran into the home and called 911. Sophia Ulola was rushed to the hospital. Sadly, the 20-year-old mother was pronounced dead at 11:35 a.m. on Christmas Eve. She had been stabbed multiple times. The case shocked the investigators. Lead detective Ed Rodriguez said that seeing the car's trunk full of toys for Ulola's daughter was haunting. Who would want to stab a young mother as she was unloading Christmas presents for her daughter from her car? Nothing appeared to have been stolen. There's no description of the killer. The only clue regarding their identity was that a light-colored Ford Thunderbird or Mercury Cougar was seen driving away from the area shortly after the stabbing. The police, Ulola's family, and her friends do not believe her murder was random. According to Ulola's best friend, the day before she was murdered, Ulola received a disturbing phone call. The caller said that they were going to kill her. Ulola was bothered by the call. The lead investigator, Ed Rodriguez, said that Ulola occasionally did drugs. He also said she had friends who were more heavily involved in drugs. Detective Rodriguez went on to say, quote, "She didn't do anything to deserve this, but she was involved in some things she shouldn't have been," unquote. Tina Mendoza does not believe her daughter's murder was drug-related. She said that her daughter was very physically attractive and that other men fawned over her. She believes it was a man who had been rejected. Sadly, Tina Mendoza's life fell apart after the murder of her daughter. For several years, she was homeless. She lived in her car with her 2 sons. Mendoza desperately wants her daughter's murder to be solved. She had t-shirts with her daughter's picture printed on them and gave them away. She was hoping that someone with knowledge about the murder would see the shirt and have a pang of remorse or empathy and contact the police. Detective Rodriguez believes that someone besides the killer knows details about the murder. So he set up a $50,000 reward for information. Mendoza said that after her daughter was murdered on Christmas Eve, she stopped celebrating Christmas. She said it would be like celebrating her daughter's murder. It's been 25 years since the murder of 25-year-old Sophia Ulola, and the case is considered cold. Number 2. Lena Willis. In December 2004, 69-year-old Lena Willis lived alone in High Point, North Carolina. Willis had been a widow for about 2 years. She had a large family which consisted of 3 daughters, a son, 6 stepchildren, 8 grandchildren, 6 step-grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. On Christmas Eve 2004, Willis was home alone, preparing for Christmas Day. Her 17-year-old step-granddaughter stopped by her home around 9:30 p.m. She had gifts to drop off, and her step-grandmother had gifts for her. Willis's granddaughter stayed for a few minutes and did not notice anything unusual. Sometime after her step-granddaughter left, Willis went to her kitchen to prepare her specialties for her family Christmas party the next day, Watergate salad and deviled eggs. Christmas morning, around 11:30 a.m., one of Alessa's daughters and her husband arrived at her home. They were supposed to give her a ride to the Christmas party. Alessa had not answered her phone all morning, and her daughter thought that was unusual. She knocked on the door, but got no answer. So she used her key to let herself in. In the bedroom, she found the dead body of her mother, 69-year-old Lena Wallace. Her husband called the police. Wallace had been stabbed 36 times with one of her own kitchen knives. The knife was laying on the floor beside her body. The police have publicly said they think it was a robbery gone wrong. 2 VCRs were missing from the house. The detective on the case said it's possible that the killer wanted something, and Wallace said no and put up a fight. Wallace's family did not believe that this was the case. They said that the police told them, based on the number of stab wounds, that it seemed personal. Also, Wallace was an incredibly cautious person. She told neighbors if she saw strangers in the neighborhood. There were no signs of a break-in or forced entry. It's believed that the killer entered through the back door, which was in the kitchen. When the killer arrived, sometime between 9:30 p.m. and Christmas morning, Wallace was making food for the Christmas party. Her family thinks it was someone she knew and felt comfortable enough to let into her home. Wallace would not let a stranger into her home late at night, especially through the back door. There was one person of interest, a neighbor who has never been publicly identified. He had befriended the 69-year-old widow. Supposedly, he left his home at 11 p.m. on Christmas Eve. He returned home Christmas morning, and he was wearing a different shirt. Another neighbor said he saw him burning something late at night. Someone said he had cuts on his hands. The police questioned the man, and he took a polygraph exam. The results were inconclusive. The police never found any physical evidence to connect the man to the murder, so he was never charged. Unfortunately, 21 years later, the murder of 69-year-old Lena Wallace is still unsolved. It is unknown who stabbed her to death on Christmas Eve or why they killed the great-grandmother. In the decades since the murder, the case has been reopened twice, but no arrests have been made. In 2024, the status of the case was inactive. Wallace's family holds out hope that the case will still be solved. Number 1. Lola Anderson. In the winter of 1959, 38-year-old Lola Anderson lived alone in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. She worked as a cashier at a grocery store. During World War II, Anderson was a cook in the Royal Canadian Air Force. She had built a boarding house on her property. She lived on the bottom floor and rented out the other rooms. Anderson was a quiet and private woman who kept to herself. She was a homebody who seemed content to stay home most of the time. She didn't appear to have any close friends. However, her neighbors and co-workers considered her friendly. On Christmas Day, 1968, Anderson had plans to have dinner with a man. At least 3 people, including her sister, her neighbor, and her manager, knew about the dinner date. However, none of them knew the man's name or how Anderson knew him. The manager saw the man outside the store but did not recognize him. The date was incredibly unusual because Anderson wasn't social and she wasn't known to date. The next day, the dead body of 38-year-old Lola Anderson was found in a vacant lot about 3 miles northwest of her home. She was partially dressed and her skirt was wrapped around her head. She had been beaten to death. According to newspaper accounts, she was sexually attacked. An autopsy revealed she had undigested food in her stomach. The pathologist believed she had died within an hour of eating dinner. Based on the evidence found around the body, the police pieced together how the murder unfolded. It is believed that Anderson was waiting at a bus stop about 100 yards from where her body was found. At the bus stop, there was a pool of dried blood. She was then taken by car to the vacant lot. She was assaulted again after getting out of the vehicle. Besides some tire track, the police found her glove and buttons from her blouse and her coat. It's believed that Anderson tried to run away. Unfortunately for Anderson, she ran away from the homes with people who could have potentially helped her and ran into a muddy field in high-heel shoes. The killer caught up with her and her bra was ripped off. Anderson managed to get away again, but she was then attacked about 30 feet away. She fell to the ground and was dragged 10 feet to where her body was found. She was struck several more times in the head. Her skirt was wrapped around her head, and then she was left lying spread eagle. Anderson had been struck a total of 5 times with a tire iron or a rock. The murder weapon was never found. The police tried to find the man whom Anderson had Christmas dinner with, but no one knew his identity and he never came forward. The police also thought that Anderson may have been a victim of opportunity. The killer may have came across Anderson as she was waiting alone at the bus stop. There was also speculation that Anderson was not the killer's only victim. A year and a half earlier, on April 3, 1958, 39-year-old Evelyn Roche got off the bus near her home in Vancouver. Roche, her husband, and her 2 children had just moved into the home days earlier. It's believed that Roche had gone out for drinks with a friend. She then took the bus home. Around midnight, her dead body was found about a block from her home. She had been slashed 3 times across the throat. She was then stabbed 7 times in the chest and the back. The pathologist believed that her throat had been cut while she was still standing. Roche's underwear had been cut, but she had not been sexually assaulted. One person who was rattled by the murder was David Pauls. David's wife, Helen, worked evenings at a delicatessen. She finished her shifts at 11 p.m., then she took the bus to a stop close to their home. After Evelyn Roche's murder, David didn't like Helen walking home from the bus stop alone, so he started driving to the bus stop and bringing her home. On June 10, 1958, David walked out of the back door of his home to pick up Helen. Just after he locked the door, he was shot with a .22 caliber handgun. The shooter then used David's keys to unlock the basement door. He then dragged 52-year-old David into the basement, where he shot him twice more and bludgeoned him with a blunt object. He then went upstairs to the bedroom of David and Helen's only child, 11-year-old Dorothy. He removed her pajama pants, but it's not believed she was sexually assaulted. The man beat her to death with a blunt object as well. The killer then waited for Helen to come home. He attacked 47-year-old Helen after she got in the door. She was shot twice and bludgeoned in the head. All 3 members of the Pauls family were killed. The murder weapons were never found. Based on ballistics, the police think the gun was a .22 caliber revolver. There was speculation that the blunt object was an axe, but this has never been confirmed. The police were never able to determine a motive. David's wallet and keys were missing, but that was it, so robbery seems unlikely. No arrests were made in the case, and it went cold. Then, a week before Little Anderson was murdered, on December 18, 1968, a 15-year-old girl was attacked by a young man after getting off the bus near her friend's home. She was stabbed twice in the back, and then the young man ran away. She was taken to the hospital and survived. Within a year and a half, there were 4 violent attacks in South Vancouver. 3 of the attacks, the murders of Little Anderson and the Pauls, and the attempted murder of the 15-year-old girl, all happened within a 5-block radius. All the attacks were related to the bus. It's believed Anderson was attacked when she was waiting for the bus. Evelyn Roche and the 15-year-old girl were attacked after they got off the bus. David Pauls was going to pick up his wife from the bus stop, and Helen was killed after walking home from the bus stop. No arrests have ever been made in the cases. It's been nearly 7 decades since the murders of Evelyn Roche, the Pauls, and Lilla Anderson. The cases are considered cold, and it seems unlikely that they will ever be solved. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Also, don't forget to watch our shorts on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Once again, thank you for watching.